Ohio Revised Code, Section 2901.13, Statute of Limitations for Criminal Offenses. A1, except as provided in Divisions A2, 3, 4, or 5 of this section, or as otherwise provided in this section, prosecution shall be barred unless it is commenced within the following periods after an offense is committed. For a felony, 6 years. B, for a misdemeanor other than a minor misdemeanor, 2 years. C, for a minor misdemeanor, 6 months. 2. There is no period of limitations for prosecution of violation of Section 2903.01 or 2903.02 of the Revised Code, or for the prosecution of a conspiracy to commit, attempt to commit, or complicity in committing a violation of Section 2903.01 or 2903.02 of the Revised Code. Except as otherwise provided in Divisions B through J of the section, a prosecution of any of the following offenses shall be barred unless it is commenced within 20 years after the offense is committed. A violation of Section 290501. Kidnapping. No person by force, threat, or deception, or in the case of a victim under the age of 13 or mentally incompetent, by any means, shall remove another from the place where the other person is found, or restrain the liberty of the other person for any of the following purposes. 1. To hold for ransom or as a shield or a hostage. 2. To facilitate the commission of any felony or flight thereafter. 3. To terrorize or inflict serious physical harm on the victim or another. 4. To engage in sexual activity, as defined in Section 2907.01 of the Revised Code, with the victim against the victim's will. 5. To hinder, impede, or obstruct a function of government, or to force any action or concession on the part of a government authority. 6. To hold in a condition of involuntary servitude. B. No person by force, threat, or deception, or in the case of a victim under the age of 13 or mentally incompetent by any means, shall knowingly do any of the following under circumstances that creates a substantial risk of serious physical harm to the victim, or in the case of a minor victim, under the circumstances that either create a substantial risk of serious physical harm to the victim or cause physical harm to the victim. 1. Remove another from the place where the other person is found. Or 2. Restrain another person of the person's liberty. C1. Whoever violates this section is guilty of kidnapping. And it goes into the penalties. As used in this section, 1. Involuntary servitude has the same meaning as in Section 2905.31 of the Revised Code. And 2. Sexual motivation specification has the same meaning as in Section 2971.01 of the Revised Code. So that covers kidnapping. Let's see, gross sexual imposition. Section 2907.05, gross sexual imposition. No person shall have sexual contact with another, cause another to have sexual contact with the offender, or cause 2 or more other persons to have sexual contact when any of the following applies. 1. The offender purposely compels the other person, or one of the other persons, to submit by force or threat of force. 2. For the purpose of preventing resistance, the offender substantially impairs the judgment or control of the other person or of one of the other persons by administering any drug, intoxicant, or controlled substance to the other person, surreptitiously or by force, threat of force, or deception. 3. The offender knows that the judgment or control of the other person or one of the other persons is substantially impaired as a result of the influence of any drug or intoxicant administered to the other person with the person's consent for the purpose of any kind of medical or dental examination, treatment, or surgery. 4. The other person or one of the other persons is less than 13 years of age, whether or not the offender knows the age of that person. 5. The ability of the other person to resist or consent, or the ability of one of the other persons to resist or consent, is substantially impaired because of a mental or physical condition or because of advanced age, and the offender knows or has reasonable cause to believe that the ability to resist or consent of the other person or one of the other persons is substantially impaired because of a mental or physical condition or because of advanced age. B. No person shall knowingly touch the genitalia of another when the touching is not through clothes. The other person is less than 12 years of age, whether or not the offender knows the age of that person, and the touching is done with the intent to abuse, humiliate, harass, degrade, or arouse or gratify the sexual desire of any person. See, whoever violates this section is guilty of gross sexual imposition. Now, the definition of sexual contact is in 2907.01. Okay, sexual conduct means vaginal intercourse between a male and female, anal intercourse, fellatio, and cunnilingus between persons regardless of sex and without privilege to do so. The insertion, however slight, of any part of the body or any instrument, apparatus, or other object into the vaginal or anal opening of another, penetration, however slight, is sufficient to complete vaginal or anal intercourse. Sexual contact means any touching of an erogenous zone of another, including without limitation the thigh, genitals, buttock, pubic region, or if the person is female, a breast, for the purpose of sexually arousing or gratifying either person. Sexual activity means sexual conduct or sexual contact or both. Okay. So a conspiracy to commit, attempt to commit, or complicity in committing a violation set forth in Division A3A of this section, which is any of these above, right? A3A, 3A. Or except as or otherwise providing divisions D through L of the section of prosecution of sections 2907.02 or 3 of the revised code, or conspiracy to commit, attempt to commit, or complicity in committing a violation of either section shall be barred unless it is commenced within 25 years after the offense is committed. This gives me time in Oregon. Except as otherwise provided in Division A5B and E2I, or maybe L, of this section, a prosecution of a violation of Section 2907.13 of the revised code shall be barred unless it's commenced within 5 years after the offense is committed. The prosecution that would otherwise be barred under Division A5A of this section may be commenced within 5 years after the date of the discovery of the offense by either an aggrieved person or the aggrieved person's legal representative who is not a party to the offense. So basically, this is most of it. So he's going to be running for the next 20 years.